Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, gives an official welcome to the President of the Republic of Belarus at the headquarters of the presidency. The President of the Republic co-chairs with his Belarusian counterpart the signing ceremony of several accords and memoranda of understanding in different fields. Algeria and Tunisia strengthen economic and border trade cooperation through joint committee meeting. Algerian startups and incubators take part in Japan's Ecosystem Summit. Welcome back. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, gave the President of the Federal Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, an official welcome at the headquarters of the Presidency of the Republic. After listening to the national anthems of the two countries and hailing the flag, the two presidents reviewed detachments of the various forces of the People's National Army that rendered them the honors. Then the two presidents took a souvenir photo before the national and foreign press. The Belarusian president hailed a delegation of high government executives who welcomed him. For his part, the President of the Republic hailed the members of the delegation accompanying the President of the Republic of Belarus. This visit reflects the common will of the two presidents to reinforce the bilateral cooperation and consolidate the collaboration in the mutual interest issues. After that, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, held a one-on-one meeting with the President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko. The meetings then extended to members of both countries' delegations, during which they evoked several files on bilateral cooperation, as well as the common will to reinforce it for the benefit of the two peoples and for the unification of efforts regarding questions of common interest. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and his Belarusian counterpart, Alexander Lukashenko, signed the joint declaration on the reinforcement of the partnership relations between the two countries.
بيان مشترك بشأن تعزيز علاقات الصداقة والشراكة بين الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية وجمهورية بيلاروس. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد عبد المجيد تبون رئيس الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية، عن الجانب البيلاروسي صاحب الفخامة ألكسندر لوكاشينكو رئيس جمهورية بيلاروس.
Of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko co-chaired the signing ceremony of several cooperation accords and memoranda in several sectors.
مذكرة تفاهم في مجال التعاون الصناعي بين وزارة الصناعة للجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية ووزارة الصناعة لجمهورية بيلاروس. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد يحيى بشير وزير الصناعة، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد أندري كوزنيتسوف وزير الصناعة. اتفاق بين حكومة الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية وحكومة جمهورية بيلاروس في مجال الصحة الحيوانية. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد يحيى بشير وزير الصناعة، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد يوري غورلوف وزير الفلاحة والتغذية. مذكرة تفاهم بين وزارة الفلاحة والتنمية الريفية والصيد البحري للجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية ووزارة الفلاحة والتغذية الجمهورية بيلاروس للتعاون في المجال الفلاحي. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد يحيى بشير وزير الصناعة، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد يوري غورلوف وزير الفلاحة والتغذية. مذكرة تفاهم للتعاون بين الهيئة الجزائرية للاعتماد والمركز الحكومي البيلاروسي للاعتماد. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد يحيى بشير وزير الصناعة، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد ماكسيم ريجينكوف وزير الشؤون الخارجية. مذكرة تفاهم بين وزارة اقتصاد المعرفة والمؤسسات الناشئة والمؤسسات المصغرة للجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية ووزارة الاقتصاد لجمهورية بيلاروس حول التعاون في مجال المقاولاتية. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد نور الدين واضح وزير اقتصاد المعرفة والمؤسسات الناشئة والمؤسسات المصغرة، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد ماكسيم ريجينكوف وزير الشؤون الخارجية. مذكرة تفاهم بين وزارة العدل للجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية ووزارة العدل لجمهورية بيلاروس. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد لطفي بوجمعة وزير العدل حافظ الأختام، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد ماكسيم ريجينكوف وزير الشؤون الخارجية. اتفاق تعاون بين حكومة الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية وحكومة جمهورية بيلاروس في مجالات البحث العلمي والتطوير التكنولوجي والابتكار. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد كمال بداري وزير التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي، عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد ماكسيم ريجينكوف وزير الشؤون الخارجية. مذكرة تفاهم في مجال التعليم العالي. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد كمال بالداري وزير التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي. عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد أندري إيفانياتس وزير التعليم. خارطة طريق لترقية التعاون التجاري والاقتصادي والعلمي والتقني بين الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية وجمهورية بيلاروس 2026-2027. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد أحمد عطاف وزير الدولة وزير الشؤون الخارجية والجالية الوطنية بالخارج والشؤون الإفريقية. عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد أرتور كاربوفيتش وزير التجارة والتنظيم ومكافحة الاحتكار، الرئيس عن الجانب البيلاروسي للجنة الحكومية المشتركة الجزائرية البيلاروسية. اتفاق التعاون العسكري والتقني بين حكومة الجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية وحكومة جمهورية بيلاروس. الموقعون عن الجانب الجزائري السيد الفريق أول السعيد شنقريحة الوزير المنتدب لدى وزير الدفاع الوطني رئيس أركان الجيش الوطني الشعبي. عن الجانب البيلاروسي السيد ديمتري بانتوس وزير الدولة للصناعة العسكرية.
In a joint press statement, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, affirmed that this official visit reflects the mutual political will aiming at reinforcing the bilateral relations between the two countries.
فخامة الرئيس، تأتي زيارتكم الرسمية هذه إلى الجزائر وهي الأولى على هذا المستوى لتعبر عن إرادتنا المشتركة السياسية الرامية إلى تعزيز العلاقات بين البلدين. وأود في البداية أن أنوه بأنها تأتي أيضاً بعد محطتين أساسيتين في مسير علاقات بين دولتينا. المحطة الأولى أننا نحتفل بالذكرى 30 لقيام العلاقات الدبلوماسية بين جمهورية بيلاروسيا وجمهورية الجزائرية الديمقراطية الشعبية. فهنيئا لنا بهذه الذكرى 30. أما المحطة الثانية فهي انعقاد الدورة الأولى للجنة الحكومية المشتركة في جمهورية بيلاروسيا بمخرجاتها المشجعة. وستكون الدورة الثانية في الأسابيع القليلة القادمة في الجزائر فرصة هامة لتوسيع وتعزيز مجالات التعاون وبعث آليات التغلب على الصعوبات خاصة منها عامل البعد الجغرافي.
The President of the Republic also affirmed that major points of a roadmap have been discussed, including cooperation in several sectors for 2026-2027.
إلى الخطوط العريضة لخارطة طريق تشمل التعاون المتعدد القطاعات في آفاق 2026-2027. وبهذا الصدد اتفقنا على تشجيع الشراكة والاستثمار في قطاعات الفلاحة والصحة الحيوانية والصناعات الميكانيكية والصيدلانية والطاقة والبحث العلمي. وأود في هذه المناسبة السانحة أن أسجل بالغ الارتياح على إثر التوقيع على اتفاقيات التعاون التي تضع الشراكة بين بلدينا على طريق واعد في إطار مؤسساتي مستدام. كما أعرب عن ارتياحنا كذلك لنتائج ملتقى رجال الأعمال المحفزة على تكثيف التبادل التجاري وهنا أشير أن التبادل التجاري لا زال ضعيف وضعيف جدا إذن وتثمين فرص الاستثمار المتاحة في البلدين.
The President of the Republic also affirmed that he exchanged points of view with the Belarusian President on regional and international issues, particularly the Palestinian issue.
استعرضنا خلال المباحثات قضايا دولية وإقليمية وتبادلنا بشأنها وجهات النظر. فبالنسبة لقضية فلسطينية ذكرنا بأنه لا سلم في الشرق الأوسط إلا بحل عادل يعيد للشعب الفلسطيني حقوقه على أساس الشرعية الدولية وبإقامة الدولة الفلسطينية المستقلة وعاصمتها القدس. وبخصوص الوضع في ليبيا جددنا التأكيد على ضرورة الحل السلمي عبر التوافق والحوار بين الليبيين بعضهم بعض والانتخابات ورفض التدخل الأجنبي. وبشأن الصحراء الغربية جددنا كذلك تأكيد على الحل السياسي العادل وفق الشرعية الدولية بما يمكن الشعب الصحراوي من ممارسة حقه غير القابل للتصرف في تقرير مصيره، وعلى دعم المبعوث الشخصي للأمين العام للأمم المتحدة. اللقاء أتاح لنا أيضا تبادل الآراء حول مستجدات النزاع الروسي الأوكراني وانعكاساته الإقليمية والدولية. وكانت رؤيتنا مع فخامة الرئيس ألكسندر لوكاشينكو هي ضرورة الدفع نحو الحوار والمفاوضات كسبيل لتجنب التصعيد والتواصل إلى حل سلمي على أساس تعاون دولي وميثاق الأمم المتحدة.
For his part, the President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, affirmed that this first official visit to Algeria is a historical moment marked by converging positions and the signing of important accords, highlighting the commitment of the two presidents to reinforce the bilateral cooperation.
This is a historic moment in our bilateral relations as it marks our first visit to Algeria. We are working to build excellent relations between the two countries. We discussed bilateral relations and international issues. President Tebboune affirmed that our positions and views are convergent. We have concluded very important agreements. I was impressed by the progress achieved by Algeria in many fields. The country now possesses cutting-edge technology. We are jointly working to develop our relations at all levels.
The Belarusian president also affirmed that his country is ready to share its expertise with Algeria in the agricultural sector, highlighting the will of the two countries to reach $500 million of commercial exchanges for the next 2 years.
Algeria attaches great importance to strengthening its relations with neighboring and friendly countries. The Algerian president assured me that Belarus holds a significant place for Algeria. We are committed to sharing our expertise in agricultural technologies and equipment with Algeria. I assured the president of the Algerian Republic that my country is ready to share its know-how in the agricultural sector with Algeria. In the next 2 years, we will work towards reaching a trade volume of $500 million.
President Alexander Lukashenko affirmed that his country is ready to share its expertise with Algeria in order to take the bilateral cooperation to the highest possible level.
Algeria is a very large country and a gateway to Africa. This is the pragmatic approach that we share with our friend President Tebboune, and which we discussed at length. We invite Algerian ministers and experts to come to Belarus to strengthen bilateral cooperation. We stand ready to share our expertise and technologies. We have sought to strengthen our relations and raise them to the highest possible level. I invite the President of the Algerian Republic and members of the government to visit Belarus. You are most welcome.
After that, the two presidents exchanged symbolic gifts that reflect the authenticity and the history of the two countries, as well as the mutual respect and the historical relations between the two nations. and the Army General Saeed Chengereha, Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, held bilateral talks with his Belarusian counterpart. For his part, the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, held talks with his Belarusian counterpart. The Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Kamal Badari, held talks with his Belarusian counterpart. Minister of Health Mohammed Siddiq Ait Masoudan also held talks with his Belarusian counterpart. The Minister of Industry Yahya Bashir held talks with his Belarusian counterpart. And the Minister of Foreign Trade and Export Promotion Kamal Rizig held talks with his Belarusian counterpart. And the representatives of the Chambers of Commerce and Industry of the two countries did the same. The Belarusian president visited the sanctuary of the martyr, where he paid tribute to the martyrs of the glorious liberation war and led the wreath of flowers. He then enjoyed the Bay of Algiers, offering a panoramic view of the capital Algiers. Before visiting the Mujahid Museum, where he was given detailed explanations on the different periods of Algeria's history, notably that of the glorious November Revolution. Before signing the museum's Golden Book. The President of the Republic of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, departed after concluding his official visit to Algeria. He was seen off by the President of the Council of the Nation, Aziz Nasri, at Algiers airport. The Prime Minister, Sifi Riyab, chaired on Wednesday a government's meeting on the national strategy for the development of digital trade in the context of the digital transformation of the country and modernizing the national trade ecosystem. The government also listened to a presentation regarding the advantages of the digital communication services via satellites in non-geostationary orbit that grants an access to high-speed internet in the rural areas and complete the existing strategic infrastructures. Regarding the major structural projects, the government informed on the works of the railway network development project, the achievement of a sports complex in the province of Constantine, the dam project of Boukhorfa in the province of Ataraf, and the water transfer project of Eri Lamada between the provinces of Béjaïa and Sétif. The State Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in charge of African Affairs, Selma Bakhta Mansouri, received at the headquarters of the ministry the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa on the sidelines of his participation in the Oran Process, Conference on Peace and Security in Africa. The meeting was an opportunity to review the high level of the bilateral cooperation and the progress made in implementing the outcomes of the latest session of the High-Level Joint Cooperation Committee held in Algiers. Algeria's participation in the international Omani exhibition Oman Agro-Food 2025 was crowned by the signing of 7 trade accords related to export, an achievement that reflects the diversity of national offers and the capacity of Algerian enterprises in reinforcing their presence in international markets. Omani operators expressed their admiration for the quality of Algerian products as well as the level reached by national companies in the field of agri-food. Algeria and Tunisia are working together to boost cross-border trade and economic development through a joint study linking Taraf and Jendouba, aiming to turn the border into a space for cooperation and growth. Besmafar.
A meeting was held today in order to assess the progress of the joint development study aimed at boosting cross-border economic cooperation between Algeria and Tunisia through Taraf and Jendouba provinces with the objective of building deeper regional economic integration.
The goal is to achieve economic integration between the two sides, between Taraf in Algeria and Jendouba in Tunisia. This cooperation is embodied in the high-level policy of President Qais Said and President Abdelmajid Tebboune.
The study proposes practical forward-looking plan to transform the border from a crossing point into a space of development and cooperation.
The study allows us to identify the strengths that can support this approach and the economic foundations.
The
goal is to create more flexibility and boost commercial exchange between the two countries.
The border project aligns with the national strategy to promote exports beyond hydrocarbons. It also supports the creation of sustainable jobs and the improvement of living conditions for border communities. Economic ties between Algeria and Tunisia are indeed expanding in different fields for the benefit of both countries in general and border region in particular.
In a strategic milestone towards digital transformation, Algeria has officially entered the 5G era, a leap forward that will boost key sectors and accelerate the country's transition towards an innovation-driven economy. Tokyo's innovation base marks its second year, emerging as a major international hub for innovation, bringing together startups, investors and global ecosystem leaders, with Algeria taking part to strengthen cooperation and visibility. Besmafar with more details.
The Tokyo Innovation Base entered its second year as a space for innovation, meetings and international opportunities. This year it hosted the Startup Ecosystem Summit, bringing together government representatives, startups, investors and actors of global ecosystem.
It's the fourth edition of the entire ecosystem players gather one place and share the knowledge and the experience, and also the information to support the startup more quickly and aggressively.
The Algerian ASCP delegation also participated, giving its members a valuable opportunity to meet with Japanese investors and key actors. They exchanged expertise and know-how while exploring new prospects for international cooperation, especially through specialized discussion panels.
We were honored to speak at the Startup Ecosystem Summit in Tokyo in the presence of Japanese officials and major startup leaders. This visit will open new paths to future partnerships. It's an opportunity to enter the Japanese market, allowing Algerian companies to expand into other international markets.
Algeria's presence at the Tokyo Startup Ecosystem Summit reaffirms its commitment to strengthening the national startup segment and positioning itself as a rising actor in the global digital economy.
In the context of the fight against terrorism and thanks to the efforts of the PNA security services, the terrorists named GA, known as Abu Ja'far, and HC, known as Al-Sharif, surrendered to the military authorities of Adrar and Ingizam in possession of 1 rifle pistol and 3 Kalashnikovs, ammunition and other items, while 4 other elements of terrorist groups were arrested during separate operations across the national territory. As part of the fight against organized crime and in continuity of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted, in coordination with the different security services in operations across the military regions, 30 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to introduce 19.93 quintals of processed kiff, through the borders with Morocco, while 1,425,700 psychotropic tablets were seized. In Tamanrasset, Borj Baji Mukhtar, in Salah and in Gazam, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 344 individuals and seized 29 vehicles, 244 generators, 133 jackhammers, as well as quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, explosives and detonations, tools and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 14 other individuals were arrested, and while Kalashnikov, 7 hunting rifles, 103,300 liters of fuel, 25 quintals of tobacco, as well as 10 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation were seized. Similarly, border guards thwarted at the level of our national coast attempts at illegal immigration and saved 63 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 270 illegal migrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory. And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.